in another video, I talked about how Ken Ham had done more damage to Christianity than like almost anybody. Well, Richard Dawkins has done more damage to science than almost anybody. Okay, and I realize that's a big statement, but let me give you a couple reasons. You know, I heard him on Boston radio station WBUR one time, and he was being interviewed, and somebody goes, "So where did life come from?" And he goes, "It was a happy chemical accident." Well, you know, I could hardly think of a less scientific answer than that. I mean, go look up science in a dictionary, and you tell me where happy chemical accident fits into, you know, modeling it, finding the structure, finding the rules, repeatable processes, testable hypothesis. I mean, he just threw science completely out the window when he said that. And you have to understand that logically speaking, that's the foundation of his whole explanation of life itself. Okay. Well, then you have like a book like The Greatest Show on Earth, which sold, you know, probably 1 million copies or something. Very popular book. So, you know, there are 5 major mechanisms that drive evolutionary change, that actually produce the changes: transposition, epigenetics, horizontal gene transfer, hybridization, and symbiogenesis. Half of those items are never even mentioned even once in the entire book, even though it's, you know, this thick, okay? Half of them don't even get mentioned, right? The ones that are probably occupy a total of 3 pages and are largely dismissed. And the rest of the book is like just all of this evidence that evolution happens, combined with an explanation of how it happens that's mostly wrong. A person who reads a Richard Dawkins book and thinks they understand evolution is like a guy who eats a plastic bag and thinks he got a ham sandwich. Okay? And meanwhile, he has taken this extremely incomplete, highly edited, and, you know, cleverly manipulated version of science and turned it into a platform for atheism. Well, what happens if you bring in all the stuff that he doesn't mention? Well, suddenly you don't have a very good argument for atheism. You know, I'm not a fan of God of the Gaps arguments. I'm not a fan of saying, see, DNA is a code, all the other codes are designed, therefore DNA is a design, end of discussion, we're done, let's go out to lunch. I think there's more and more and more and more to discover, okay? But why do I think I believe that? I believe God made a world that runs according to rules and principles and things that you can discover and dissect and understand. Okay, I believe that God made a world that he wants us to understand. That a world that could develop to the point of understanding itself and growing and developing the way that it wants to grow and develop with a certain measure of freedom. I believe that, okay? And what is the atheist view? Well, that it's all here for no particular reason at all, and it develops in ways that we can't really understand. Now, I know they say that they're in favor of understanding it all, but that's what they say. What do? They write books that leave 80% of it completely out, so that you're left with this impression that we believe in this universe of blind, pitiless indifference, when in fact every single cell in the whole earth is intentional and purposeful and busy doing its job. You know, and so Dawkins has taken a wrecking ball to important parts of modern science, and there's just a bunch of things that he's not telling you. So why isn't he telling you?